I started producing music back in 2012. Long story short, I came from a sports background, but always had a passion for producing and making music. So I kind of shortly after quitting sports, I dropped out of college after one semester and drove to LA and went to a little school for music called Icon Collective. And for 9 months, I just dedicated my entire life to learning how to produce, and kind of the story starts there, really. And from that moment till now, I've just been kind of constantly trying to reinvent myself and create new things that I'm kind of inspired and proud by. And over the last, I'd say 5.5, 6 years now, I've been really incorporating a lot of things I grew up on, rock, alternative pop punk, metal, and things like that in with electronic music. And so that journey started 2017-ish, and I've been just trying to kind of bridge the gap between those two worlds ever since. And that's kind of the short Spark Note version of the musical side. And then on the live side, it's just like a crazy rock show. I like to bring that type of energy to the stage and, bring something unique in that way. And, I've been very fortunate to, be able to perform all around the world. It's like it's an ever-continuing journey of just Kayzo and everything that goes with it. So I'm just happy to be here. All of the music that I grew up listening to prior to electronic music was heavily influenced on being high energy music that kind of pumped me up for sports, hockey specifically, before I got into music. So I've really been driven off high energy music, and I have a soft spot for things like that, whether it's jarring or it's melodic or whatever, or heavy, whatever it may be. Anything with high energy and a lot of fun, I'm kind of drawn to creatively. And so that's kind of been one of my core factors with what I create. I just got to be really excited about it, and it's got to bring me a lot of internal energy and just kind of a serotonin release on it all. And so, yeah, that's kind of the one of the many factors of how I create, and the list could go on in different factors of why I make what I do. But one of the first most important things was just I was most inspired and most excited about music with a lot of energy, and that kind of translated to performances and how I like to DJ and my style of mixing live and how I my persona on stage and how much I put forth. And so, yeah, it's kind of all encompassing on high energy. A lot of energy, to go back and use that word again, but I am going to unapologetically just play whatever I like to play and what I make. I love playing all different tempos, and you're gonna expect a journey in the sense of just it's gonna go all over the place, tempo wise, energy wise, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna bring you back to your roots, hopefully, if you kind of grew up in, if you kind of came up and grew up in my time period, and if you didn't, maybe I introduced you to something new that you are kind of you enjoy and you're inspired by. And yeah, I'm just trying to bring something unique and fresh to the table that I really wholeheartedly enjoy, and means a lot to me. So I don't know, you're gonna expect something different, I'd say. That's the best question. That's probably, worded in different ways, that's pretty much the core question I get a lot of times. And I think my answer has kind of stayed the same throughout the years, just based off my own experiences. I would say, if we're talking, we could talk technical, but that's a whole different, side of things. But let's talk just raw creativity and art. I've always been pretty, coming from a sports background, I guess, kind of bullish on just doing what I want to do, and I don't really care if people like it or not. And that's just one way, that I just do things. But for me, my number one thing that I would tell people aspiring to be either in my position or their own type of position within dance music or any type of music, and expressing themselves, is just do exactly that. Be you, express yourself the way you want to be expressed. I know it's an interesting time with a lot of saturation in music in general, and it may feel like it's hard to get your voice heard or your music heard. And I think the number one way to gravitate towards people is just to really be kind of honest with yourself. I would not look at what is trending or what you think is cool and what sells and what will get you on a festival and be like, I'm gonna make that. I've never done that. I've never believed in just, you know, following the course and to stay afloat. And I've always wanted to, if everyone goes right, I love going left. And that's just how I've always been. So I would say, to kind of tie it all up, just be you, man. Make whatever you want to make, and like, people are going to resonate, whether it's one person, 5 people, 5,000, you know, the number can go higher. I think the more you're honest with yourself, that will resonate with people in a real, genuine way, and you'll connect with the right people. And it's not about how many people. I think it's about having the right people that enjoy your music, that'll be there forever. You know, you want people. It's about longevity in this industry. It's not about a quick moment. So I think it's more the long game, and just really take your time and enjoy the process, because things move quick. So enjoy the moment, and the journey, I think, is the most important part of it. You know, playing shows and the end result and all the rewards are cool, but I think the part I always look back and relish on is just the journey of it all, and the grind. And so enjoy it. The number one most important thing for anyone starting out wanting to learn how to produce is learn your tools. Understand your tools, understand your DAW, understand what you're working with, because like myself, when I first got into music, I had a lot of ideas in my head and a lot of things I wanted to express musically, but I didn't understand how to get it out there and how to express it properly through my programs and the tools at my disposal. So I would say the most important thing is understand what you're working with, understand what things do, because the more you understand what like the tools in front of you, your DAW and the quick commands and all of that technical shit, the ideas in your head will come out way easier. But if you're not focused, if you're focused more on like, I just want to get these ideas out, but you don't know how to do it, it's going to get extremely frustrating. So that's like my number one, like, most basic technical advice I give people, without going down like a super big rabbit hole of all the different kind of sub things that you could talk about with production. But on the creative side, it's just, I would say, it's kind of funny. Like, when I first moved to LA, I had a really weird moment where I went to a Guitar Center once. Like, my first Guitar Center visit in LA, I went there, I was buying a MIDI keyboard, and I ran into, like, me and my roommates at the time ran into Steve Angelo, of all people, at Guitar Center. And we, like, had that nerdy moment where, like, the question you're asking me, I asked him, and it was like, what's like the one piece of advice you could give me? I'm learning. And he literally said the most basic of answers, but I'll never forget it, and it resonated with me ever since. It's just break the rules. There are no rules. Like, there really are no rules. As much as you think there are rules within this industry musically, there are zero rules. And I think that's becoming more evident with the emerging talent in this industry and the people that are leading the way in whatever genre that they're doing, that people are following less of the atypical rule in the formats of either creating or performing, and just like the kind of cyclical cycle of the music industry. Sometimes people are just kind of doing their own thing and doing it the way they want to do, and I think that's what people are most resonating with right now. So break the rules. There are no rules. Don't let that, you know, mindset and what you think it's supposed to be like kind of control and dictate your journey. So yeah, break the rules and just fucking have fun. That's all it is, having fun. If you're not having fun, then it's not worth it. So 100%. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm wrapping up an album for you guys, and I'll have more details on that date soon, and I can't wait to get it out for you. So I am excited for tonight, and I'll see you guys in the future.